If you're familiar with my content, you know that I don't recommend just any platform that's willing to pay me. I always try to recommend the most affordable and the best learning resources out there for people who are interested in learning how to code. Scrimba recently reached out to me to partner up with them for their affiliate program and to do a review on their site. After taking some time to look over what they had to offer and listening to some of the podcasts with their co-founder, I decided that this is going to be a good opportunity for me to partner with a company that I feel comfortable recommending to my audience. I've heard a lot of good things about them in the past, and I've had a lot of people ask me about them in previous videos. So I figured that this was long overdue, and I want to make sure that I disclose that this is a paid video, but I am going to be as honest as possible and talk about everything that they're doing. I'm going to talk about the curriculums that they have. I'm going to talk about their career paths, and I'm going to mention a lot of the cool stuff that they're doing, along with a lot of the cool stuff that their platform does too. So let's get right into it. So Scrimba version 2 is out. This is a complete redesign and rewrite of the original version. The whole reason for the rewrite was for them to make it fast, snappy, and be able to integrate a lot of new features that they're hoping to release and have released with this new version. Navigating around the site, you can tell that it's very, very snappy. Like there's barely any delay switching through any of their navigation and like looking through all of the sections in their website. I listened to a podcast with the co-founder of Scrimba talking about why they decided to do this rewrite, and it honestly showed a lot of integrity. He mentioned that in order for them to build out the platform the way that they wanted to, they couldn't build it on the old version because there was just too much technical debt. So instead of them releasing more courses and trying to just make more money off of the platform, they spent a lot of time and effort and energy and resources to make this platform completely brand new. They literally rewrote it from scratch and built it from the ground up in order for them to have a solid foundation to build out what they envision to be the future of Scrimba. As a developer, I know how hard it is to convince business to let you do a rewrite and to handle technical debt. The level of integrity that it takes for a startup to do that rather than to just try to make money says a lot about their goals and priorities and how much they care about their users and their product. One thing I will say is that when I first landed on the site, I felt a little lost because there's a lot going on the site. But as soon as I got a little familiar with it and started understanding how to navigate around the site, it started to feel very comfortable. So there was a little bit of a learning curve for me, but I don't think it was too bad. But I will say that could be a little bit hard for someone who's just getting started that might feel like they're overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that they see on the page or just not understanding how to get around. But after watching a video with the co-founder talking about like the best way to kind of navigate around, I figured it out real quick and it's really not that bad. What he suggested in his video where he was talking about version 2 being released was to just go to the topic section and search around for what you want. They have a really good search here that is really smart and will help you kind of navigate around the things that you're looking for. In this search, you could kind of see every topic that they have, and you can click around and decide what you want to learn. And once you get into those topics, you can kind of see the different things that they have to offer for a particular technology or language. For instance, in the JavaScript section, you have all this different JavaScript stuff here. And if you use the filter, you can kind of search by instructor. You can also search by free to see what they have that's free. And you can filter that way in order to kind of find the stuff that you want to learn rather than just going to the courses section. You can see they have all the courses here. They also have their lessons listed out here, and then they have their templates. I'll talk about templates in a little bit because I think that's a cool feature of what they're doing and what they're offering within their platform, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. But I will say that the templates they offer are pretty nice, and they also have a lot of other cool stuff that I'm going to get into right now. I'm going to jump into the courses right away because I feel like that's the one that most people are going to be interested in, and I really want to focus on their front-end developer career path because I think that they really did a good job with this. And I'm going to show you some of the cool features that they have to offer as we go through this course. But I do want to mention real quick that they're partnered with MDN, which kind of says a lot because I would say that MDN docs are like the go-to web development docs that you should be referencing when you have a particular question that has to do with anything web related like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It says a lot about their platform and the quality of their curriculum. So let's go ahead and check out their career path right now. The first thing I look for when I look through a course that is supposed to be something that sets you up to get job ready, I look for a few things. I look to make sure that it's project-based learning. I look to make sure that they're teaching you things that are relevant to the field. And I look to make sure that they are preparing you to get job ready. And honestly, that's exactly what they're doing here. You see that they kind of have an introduction to the course. They cover web development basics with some of the basics of HTML and CSS, start teaching you how to make an interactive website. They're teaching you about the importance of accessibility on the web, because those are things that are really important as you're learning how to code and as you start building to become a professional developer, because accessibility is really important. So I'm happy to see that they cover that. So you can see through a lot of these lessons, they have different things to build, they have challenges for you to do, and they have project-based learning along the way. And they cover so many topics. You know, they get into JavaScript, they cover responsive design. This one stood out to me, and I was really kind of impressed to see that, because when I was learning how to code, I remember that not many courses and platforms that I learned on covered things like code review. And I like to see that in curriculum, because that's real world stuff. Like when you become a developer, you're going to have to go through code review. If you have a good team that actually follows good coding practices, code review is a part of the job that many courses and learning platforms kind of miss. So I was really happy to see that they covered code review, and they covered like branching, pull requests, and like doing GitHub and Git related stuff. So that was really cool. They get into things like APIs, and then they start getting into React and advanced React down here. And then they have a whole section on getting hired. And I really like seeing that, because I think that that's the stuff that you need in order to get prepared for a job. So after they teach you all this technical stuff that you need to know to get job ready, they actually focus on getting you job ready. And they have how to set up LinkedIn to get a job and how to use LinkedIn. They have things for like front end developer job interview tips, and they go through different things and exercises and interview questions that can help you get prepared and ready for a job. And they cover all of these different things that are so important when it comes to getting a job as a developer, that I was really impressed with the way that they laid this out. And it feels like they didn't skip anything that would be critical to your success as someone who's learning how to code with the intention to get a job. And I'm really happy with it. I think that this is really cool, and I've never seen another platform do something like this. I had a little bit of a hard time understanding exactly what a scrim was, and you'll hear them refer to scrims on their platform, and I was a little confused about it at first, but then once I actually figured out what it was, I was like, oh man, this is really cool. Real quick, this is just a lesson, right? And we're watching a video. Pretty normal stuff for when you're learning how to code and following along with tutorials. They're just kind of playing a video. The guy's talking about the video, and I'm gonna go ahead and play, and you can see that they're showing a text editor.
And I have provided a little syntax example for you here. However, if you've understood the logic of how to write these tags by now, it shouldn't come as a surprise how you do that.
As you are watching the video, they are presenting you a text editor in the video. Well, that text editor is actually part of the video, or the video is part of the text editor. I'm not sure how the magic works, but you can click into the video as it's playing, right? Like this is actually clickable. Like I can highlight this as the, like this is the video.
A little
and like I'm highlighting
for
this.
You here. However,
I'm typing as the video is playing. You can also see this right here, which I'll talk about in a second, but you can see that that was him talking.
If you've understood the logic of how to write these tags by now, it shouldn't come as a surprise.
But you can see that my code is still here, and it just says scribble. And then as he gets through the curriculum in that text editor, he then tells you like, hey, it's your turn. So watch this. So now it's our turn.
Write the HTML we need in order to create this news article.
So now we have an exercise in this lesson within the text editor that they were playing while the video was going, and we can just write our code right into the video / text editor, into the scrim as they refer to it. And I think it's just so cool. So any lesson that has this little ghost means that you're going to have a challenge. And in that challenge, you're not going to have to, open or use the IDE on the side, or, wait for the video to pause and then load a text editor that's integrated into the platform for you to like test your code on. You actually do it in like pretty much like real time as you're doing the lesson. And then when it gets to that challenge, it stops here and says like, all right, hey, it's your turn. So now I can just start typing right into this and say, what was it? Humans have reached Mars was an H1, right? So I'll just copy that and then finish my H1 here. And then what was the other one? It was an H3. Is that what it is? I'm kind of looking in that small corner down there. And it's an H3, and it's like, it says the spaceship rockets have arrived this morning or whatever that says. And then that's an H3. And then it was a paragraph tag. And then the paragraph tag was the rest of this text here. And I'll just copy that and put it here. And like this is actually happening like right in the video in like real time. And then you can see like I have these little dots here. It's following all the code that I'm entering. And it's almost just like you don't need to use Control or Command Z to undo stuff. You could just kind of scrub through it, which is like such a cool feature. Like you see me like it's kind of hard to see because my arrow's down there, but I'm trying to show you, I'm moving it back and forth. And it's like I'm rewinding the video, but it's my code that I just typed in. And it's basically tracking every keystroke. And that's what the co-founder was saying in a podcast about this new version and the rewrite, that it allows them to do stuff like this because they rebuilt the whole application and they rewrote it in order for them to integrate this cool feature and a lot of other cool stuff too. But now you can see that's where I'm at. I'm at the head of my commit. And in some of the templates and the scrims that they offer, you can actually commit and save your scrims. But this was the exercise. And now I can just reload this browser right here that they have. And you can see that's the code that I just wrote. Like here, I'll just write my name real quick, Dorian, and then I'll reload that. And then you can see it's right here at the end. That is so cool. It's such a cool feature and it feels like such a fun and interactive way to learn that you're kind of just taking control of the code that they're showing you in the video and then just kind of going along and following through with what the instructor is telling you. I can honestly say I've never had this kind of experience with any integrated text editor in any learning platform before, and it's really cool. And then you just submit your solution and it's like, okay, resuming lesson. And then
hopefully that went well. Let's start with the H1. I'm going to create
now
the open and closing
that's the
tag,
instructor
and
writing it on the same text editor.
Like
and
that,
then look,
running the
I
code.
can like interrupt and start writing. It's so cool. It's so weird. And then like, look, oh, I don't like that. I can just rewind it and write it there and then just go back to the original spot and just have them start the video
on
again.
To the H3.
Like how cool is that? I just really wanted to show that. But then those scrims and those lessons with those exercises, they're everywhere. Like there's so many exercises that are integrated into their lessons. And you can see this one has multiples. And I just thought that that was such a cool feature. And it feels like such a engaging way to learn that it makes you feel like you're a part of the lesson rather than like having to like pause it and go back and kind of like just see it in real time on your screen like that. And you can like start typing and start writing code right away. Super cool feature. I feel like I have to talk about that because I thought it was like one of the coolest things when I saw that. So I feel like I gave like a high level overview of this front end developer career path. And this is part of the pro version. So you would have to be a paying subscriber to use this, but like their price is reasonable. It's like $40 a month. It's not a lot of money. And I think that for that price to have like such a cool learning experience is totally worth the money. I love being able to recommend platforms that are good and affordable. And that's like what I'm all about. I do want to like just show you how many courses they have. Like they have almost 70 courses and there's quite a few free ones as well, but you can see they have courses on React, they have courses on Tailwind, they have courses on AI, they have a whole career path for AI. Kind of looking through that myself too, and they teach you like everything you need to know to become an AI engineer. Now, this isn't like prompt engineer, this is actually to become an AI developer, stuff that I'm not familiar with, but I find interesting. They teach you everything. They teach you embedding in vector databases, they teach you about agents, they teach you a lot here. They're doing such a good job. Like I said, I was happy to partner with them because when I saw what they had to offer, I was just really impressed by their platform. And they have a really large list of things that you can learn from. Like this was like all their AI stuff here. You know, I typed in AI and that's everything they came up, but they have so many other topics that they cover and they're just constantly building on top of this. And to talk about some of the other stuff that they have to offer, right? Like I mentioned the templates and I said that I would get into the templates and I think that time is now. So you can see that they have all types of different templates and you can use these templates as starting points for your learning. You can use them to just kind of copy them and build whatever you're trying to build on your local computer. And you can build right within their application. Like you can go in here and you can start this TypeScript template and you can start working on it right here. You could change your greeting and you can just be like, hello, Dorian, and then run your code. You see that it automatically increased in size. You can just edit stuff right here and then run your code, and then you've got your code running right here in your browser. As far as like a integrated text editor in a browser feels, I will say that this feels really good. Like, I'm not a big fan of CodePen. I always thought that CodePen could have done better, but CodePen was like one of the first ones that did that. But there's a lot of other ones like Code Sandbox and a lot of other tools like that you can run code in your browser just to like test stuff out. And it seems that Scrimba is trying to do that same thing, but they're kind of like setting a standard for how it's done. And I'm pretty impressed with what I've seen so far. And then here you have that little scrubber again. You see how I just went back and changed my name? I'm dragging it here. It's almost like a video that's playing. And what they're doing is that they're trying to build a community around having a place for people to create these scrims and even be able to build like their own lessons for people to come and then learn from. So they're trying to like build a community around learning, and they're trying to create what the co-founder said. They're not trying to focus on building just a school. They're trying to build a tool. It's catchy and it rhymes, but after playing around with it a little bit, I can see that that's exactly what this feels like. Like, I can totally see myself if I just wanted to quickly like, test something out in React. Like, they have a lot of different React templates, right? Like, they have React Router, they have state, they have context, and they have different templates for React. They have like Tailwind CSS. So you could just come in here, and if you wanted to just create like a vanilla HTML and CSS project real quick, you can come here and just start working on this template. And right in their IDE, you can see the preview down here, and you can like change your, I'm just keep typing my name, but like, and then like just run that in my preview, reload that, and then boom, my code updates right there. And then I can just revert down here if I wanted to, or I can commit this. And then when you commit this, you actually like save your templates in your profile, and then you kind of now have this template under your profile. And then you go to your profile, and then you see like now you have these templates here for projects that you've created. And then they also have a bit of like a social network aspect to it where you can follow different courses, you can follow creators, and I believe that they're trying to make it to where you can follow other users on the platform. I don't know if that's built out yet. Also, those commits, from what I heard in one of the podcast interviews with the co-founder of Scrimba, is that they're eventually going to try to integrate GitHub and like have like your code actually commit to your repos and to your GitHub account. And I think that that's really cool too. So I really wanted to talk about this whole like scrim and templates that they have to offer. And then you can see like my scribbles here. Like, this is from the code that I was watching in the video tutorial that I was showing you how to edit. Like, it can take me back to that point in time and show me those scribbles that I made while I was watching that lesson. That's just so cool. I mentioned the templates and I mentioned the scrims, and they have things for like teams too, but they're taking feedback very seriously, and they want a lot of feedback from users because they just did a complete rewrite and a redesign. So they have like a whole section for like issues, and if you submit questions or you have issues or you report a bug, like all of that stuff is tracked here so that you know if your stuff has been looked at, issues that you've created and the problems that you've had are actually being monitored or taken care of. And they have like a whole section about that because they're really interested in feedback, which that's something that stands out to me because a lot of the times like that stuff kind of goes into a black box, like you have some feedback and then you never hear anything back, or you have a bug that you want to report, but the bug is still there. With this feedback section, like, that they're really trying to make the best product possible. And that, I think that's just a good sign of a good product and a good development team. Like, they have a whole section here that is all different projects from their courses and different projects that you can kind of like use as a starting point or like just use for learning. And I think that's pretty cool, which I think they're going to like keep adding to that. And there's just so many cool things and so many things that I just wanted to mention. I wanted to give the walkthrough and show how the platform works and how it interacts and like how it navigates. And you can see this is my homepage. So a lot of the stuff that I've looked at, a lot of the things that I've started, a lot of the like templates and projects that I've opened up and lessons that I've done are all here on my recent under my home page. And if I were following topics and courses, like it would all be here. And it feels like a really customized experience for each user. I don't know, it feels very engaging. It makes me want to learn more, if that makes sense. I'll be honest, when I went into this, potential partnership with Scrimba, I was just like, I'm going to check this out and I'm going to look for as much stuff as I can hate on this as possible. And then the more I kind of dove in and started looking around, and when I listened to the podcast with the co-founder and I saw like all the cool stuff that they're doing, I kind of started falling in love with this platform. And I saw what they offered, and I started learning about scrims, and I started learning about their templates, and I started learning about the community aspect that they're trying to build, and I started learning about all the stuff that they're going to offer and eventually build this platform up to be. I was really impressed, and I genuinely like this platform, and I feel confident that I can put like my stamp of approval on it and recommend it to my audience. It is a platform that I would use myself, and I do plan on continuing to use it. I've already been looking through more stuff on their platform that I actually want to learn about, and I'm excited to see the new courses and the new things that they build out on this platform. And I'm really excited to see like where Scrimba ends up in like a year from now, because with this new rewrite, like they just did that, and all these features and functionality that they've built into it and what their plans are and their vision is for this platform to grow and become like a community and a place for people to actually come and build and share projects and use their integrated text editor and use their scrims to like have anyone be able to share their code and teach other people stuff that they learn. Like, it's pretty exciting. They will be offering a discount for my viewers that use my link to sign up. So make sure if you do decide to sign up for Scrimba and you heard of them from this video, use that link in the description below. Check out their free stuff. And if you like it, sign up for their pro plan, because I do think that it's worth the money, because it's not a lot of money at the end of the day. And for the value that they're giving you for that amount of money, I think it's well worth the $40 a month. And I think that they have a nice like discount if you sign up for the whole year. But check it out. Try them out and see if you like them as much as I did, because I really do think that it's an awesome product. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.